On today's show, I interview people to hear how following their dreams has changed their lives. My symbol today is airplanes, and as always, I interpret the dreams you sent in during the week. Welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show all about dreams and their meanings. I'm Michael Sheridan, and it is my mission to set the record straight about dreams. You can send your dreams to the show at dream-analysis.com, and please do. They truly are the lifeblood of the show. We were off the air for a couple of weeks because I was on honeymoon in Kauai. It was a very late honeymoon. We were on our 2-year anniversary. I have to admit I was a rat on our honeymoon. I actually worked. I did one live show from Kauai and also created 2 videos. One I shared last week, episode 116, in which I gave the big picture that dreams fit into. The other I share with you today. I interviewed people I had interpreted dreams for over a number of years, people who followed their dreams' advice. I wanted you, the viewer, to get a first-hand account of how dramatically life improves when you listen to your dreams. I see it all the time, but you only see me do one dream at a time, so I think this will be interesting. 4 short interviews, 4 results. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. To make room for the interviews, I'm going to interpret just 2 dreams today. Before I do that, I have a few announcements. First, I'm still married. Sandy didn't divorce me for working on this show for the first 6 days of our honeymoon, probably because I wised up and took 2 weeks off after that. Sandy also helped with the camera work in Kauai, so she is further invested in this now. Second, I just released a free dream interpretation tutorial. It's email only, and you can get it by clicking the link under this video. I wrote this tutorial over many years. It includes concise tips on how to interpret your own dreams, and it includes techniques for developing your psychic abilities. Please do check it out. Lastly, I have a new online course starting on January 6th, and I'm happy to say I have cracked the code of really making this course work for every participant on it. I've recently changed the structure of the course and adjusted the pricing accordingly. There is a ton of involvement from me. You get 2 personal one-to-ones with me where I interpret the dreams you submit and really bring home their message about your life purpose and how to work through and overcome the issues you have in your life right now. Whether they are about your relationships, your career, your health, or your spiritual gifts, or something entirely different. You also get 8 webinars where I interpret your dreams in a group setting. But wait, there's more. What if you have questions not covered by your dreams, or questions triggered by what your dreams bring up? Well, we've got that covered too. The course includes deep access to Heidi Brooke and Asher Sheridan, both of whom will channel answers to any questions you have right throughout the course. There's still more. The course includes my online mastermind community where I, along with others, help you understand your dreams. April Angel, yes, Angel is her real name, is usually the first on the scene to explain your dreams. This course is chock full of lessons about your dreams, and a recording of the webinar is added to those. You keep lifetime access to the lot. As part of the restructuring, I've lowered the price of the high-end level of the course, and the very good news is you can now pay with an installment plan. That level includes a weekly personal check-in with me where I guide you through dealing with the issues your dreams raise. Find links to the course under this video on YouTube. Okay, on with the show. Let's have a look at our symbol of the day, airplanes. So I thought with Thanksgiving, or I should say Asher thought with Thanksgiving, this would be actually a good symbol to cover. Because lots of people are going to be on airplanes, already have been pretty recently. So what do they mean in dreams? Well, the first one is airplanes landing is about your birth, and that's big in dreams. So airplanes landing or arrivals are about new arrivals or your arrival on the planet. And if you find you have a dream where your luggage doesn't arrive with you, well, that's actually good in a dream to lose your luggage. Not good in reality, but excellent in a dream, because the luggage indicates the baggage that you brought with you, and losing it in a dream means that you're doing or have done something to eliminate the baggage you picked up when you arrived here. Now, if you looked at last week's show, you know that we're meant to pick this baggage up, so it's not a bad thing that we have it, but we do want to see from our dreams that we've actually done something to eliminate it. Departures, probably more common in your dreams around this time, are going to be about a new project in your life, doing something different. It could even be that you stay in the same career, but you do a different role in that career. So it's always positive in a dream to see a departure, but usually we find that there are some roadblocks, and these are things we need to overcome. If you find yourself going through customs or border control, that's pretty good in a dream, and it means that you're now at a point in your life where you're able to expand your consciousness by letting go of something that you've been holding on to in the past. And that brings us back to luggage. So if you take a flight in your dream and you leave your luggage behind, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, usually in these dreams, we spend a lot of the dream trying to find the luggage. Hopefully you don't find it, or you find it and a lot is missing from it. Because again, it means in order to get into this expanded consciousness, or for this project to take off, this is only if luggage is in your dream. If the luggage is missing, then you need to get rid of whatever conditioning you currently have that holds you back from moving forward in your life. So what have we left? We have left, what if your dream is where you're actually on an airplane the whole time? Well, that's about it's about being on another plane or meditating. It can be saying that you have a kind of a rational mind, that you analyze everything in life and make all your decisions through rational thought and logic. And if the dream's about that, it can be okay, but quite often it's trying to tell us that you need to let your heart have a peek in and say what choices you should make. Listen to your heart, because your feelings, that's where you get joy and happiness, so they need to be included in order for you to get to the point where you feel that. Okay, so that's our symbol for today. Let's have a look at our first dream. And this one is called Pretty Neighborhood. And the dreamer says, I was by myself walking up a street in a neighborhood I've never seen before. It was sunny and beautiful. So this is pretty good. When we see a new neighborhood, especially when it's beautiful and sunny like this. So the sun in dreams, this dreamer's a healer. I know that from other dreams I've done for her. So the sun in her dreams is her using her spiritual healing ability in order to heal traumas from the past, or issues from the past, not necessarily traumas. Walking up a street, it's like driving in a car in your dream. It's about moving forward in life. So it's good to be walking. And she's never seen this neighborhood before. So this is also usually good, because this is a new aspect of you that you're getting to see. So let's continue on. We expect to see a problem, as usual, in dreams. She says, at the end of the street, the road split in two. The right side went steeply up into the hills, and the left side went slightly uphill, but not as steep. Both sides curved sharply to where I couldn't see very well whatever was ahead. But what I could see, it didn't look as nice as where I was. So I turned around and went back the other way. Well, of course, there's our problem. Refusing to move forward. And that's okay. This dreamer's been working on herself, so she's well aware of what this is about. But the road splitting in two. So we don't see this too often in a dream. We normally see T-junctions and intersections. But a road splitting in two, or a Y-junction in a dream, means that you don't have to deviate very far from your current path. It's just going to be a slight change, a little nudge in one or other direction, and you're going to find yourself more in alignment with what you came here to do. So it's really good to see that in a dream, because it actually means you're already on the right path, and you just need a slight push in a different direction. But the dreamer says she couldn't see ahead, so she couldn't see around the corner. So she doesn't know what's up ahead, what's in her future, because that's what up ahead means in a dream. And because she can't see where it's going, she doesn't want to go there, and changes her mind and turns back. And we expect the dream to say why that is. So let's continue on. She says, then I was standing in front of a house where my parents were living. Mom and dad, or mom, they nearly always show up in our dreams, because that's where we pick up our conditioning. By design, deliberately pick up our conditioning so that we will be able to then eliminate that conditioning and eliminate it from the spirit world by doing it here. Anyway, she says, I was standing in front of a house. So notice standing means I'm not moving. So because of issues with my parents, I'm refusing to move forward, is the not so subtle way to put this. And she says, where my parents were living, it looked immaculate from the outside. Now she says later on, it wasn't like the house. It wasn't the house that they ever lived in. So that's actually good. It's not bringing you back to that age. It's actually showing you a trait that you picked up from your parents. So next piece, she says, it looked immaculate from the outside. It was white with black shutters. My mom was outside working on the lawn. She was younger than she is now. That's actually good in a dream too. I was amazed at how picture perfect she was keeping the lawn. Okay, so we'll stop there. So here we see saying it was immaculate from the outside, or more accurately what she says, it looked immaculate from the outside. In other words, is it really immaculate on the inside, or is the perception that's given across different from what's in reality? And that's what this dream is getting at. That mom, because mom is the one in the dream, put on this outward appearance that everything was okay or perfect, had to be perfect. And I copied that a bit. So this is one of the things that I've got to deal with, the fact that I picked this up or copied it from mom. And this is really good to know that it's just this, because it's like if you decide to take up painting and you want your first painting to be hanging beside the Mona Lisa. It's crazy, we all know it's crazy, but when you've got this issue, when you've picked it up at such a young age, you want whatever it is you're going to shift into, you want it to be perfect from the word go. It has to be immaculate, pristine, and everybody has to see it as immaculate. So when you see this in the dream and you say, look, this is because of the way your mom was, then it gives you the permission to step into it your own way, do it your own way, make mistakes, whatever it takes, because it's the experience of doing it is what it's all about. So quite often, and in this case hopefully for this dreamer, just knowing it is enough, knowing that the issue is copying something from mom. And then it continues on and she says, she was working quickly, walking around, pulling off any leaf that didn't look quite right. It was very sunny outside. So she says again, it being sunny. So we know her spiritual healing is being used in this dream. So she's meant to use that in reality going forward. That's why it's getting emphasized twice. And use it to heal herself in particular. But again, the emphasis on mom removing things that don't look quite right. And I'm doing the same. So I have a tendency to copy mom, and that's not great for me. So again, it's not difficult for this dreamer. It's a case of, for a lot of people, if you say, hey, that's not your trait, it's your mom's, a lot of people are just like, oh, okay, I'm never going to do it again because I don't want to be like my mom, or whatever it is. I'm not picking on the moms. I'm a dad. I get picked on by my kids' dreams, I'm sure. So, well, I'm more than sure because I see the dreams. But that's the way it is. So let's have a look at our next dream. And this dream is from one of our people in the interviews today, Jerry Lynn. She says, Michael and I decided, first of all, she called it Changing the Course of the River. And that's a really ambitious title even. And then she also gives it a second title, Moving. So that gives us an idea. It's not really about changing my spiritual path. It's about me changing my state, changing who I am. And that's what life is all about. Not that we change, well, we do change who we are, but we realize who we are and we change into who we really are. So she says, Michael and I, Michael's her husband, decided we were going to change the course of this river. So somehow we temporarily dammed it up. Let's put some text up there. We temporarily dammed it up. We plotted the new course of the river and made the necessary adjustments. And she has this broken into little scenes, which is kind of cool. And I broke the slides up into the scenes. So this is kind of like, okay, I put things on hold for a moment because I'm reevaluating, taking stock, and then I'm changing the direction of my relationship, my life, everything about me, but all in a positive way. And her husband's included in this, so this isn't like, oh, I'm changing, my husband better tag along. Very supportive husband in this case, so it's really, really good dream for her. Plotting the new course is about her figuring out how she's going to move forward in life. And she was so happy at the end of this dream, she was almost in tears. I mean, where she is in life now is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful place. But she's put in the work to get there. And she's listened to her dreams and done all the things that her dream said, and more besides. So she deserves this. So what have we got? So she's making the adjustments. But all this shows she's willing to make all these adjustments, willing to hold things up, make the changes, and then, as we see, move forward. She says, in the next scene, we are standing at the end of a long, wide valley, and we are set up to film the release of the river. And so filming it says this is a really big event, otherwise you wouldn't film it. Like, this is going to be so monumental, I'm going to want to look back on this over time. And that's what she's preparing to do in the dream. So, and then release the river, and that's really good. So that's what we want to see. The temporarily damming it up is all right. We don't like to see damming it up, but doing it so that you can plan things and then release it like she does here, that's really good. So this is an exciting phase of her life. She says, around the corner at the far end of the canyon came a sparkly white SUV Bronco racing down the canyon towards us. So the sparkly white, normally white in a dream alone is not good. It's about being critical of yourself. But the sparkly white is very positive, and it's about reaching a state of enlightenment. And that's really where this person is. She's right at that point, if she isn't already at the point of enlightenment. And enlightenment in your life, it's not about knowing everything the Buddha knew or Jesus knew or whoever your spiritual guru is. It's about being so in touch with your spiritual purpose, with the reason you're here, that it all makes sense to you. Everything you need to know, you understand. It doesn't have to fit with other people's lives. So she says an SUV/Bronco comes around the corner, and in this case it's just ahead of the water. And a Bronco is a horse. So here it's also, because it's an SUV, it's an all-terrain vehicle. So it's saying that she's no longer caught with having to do conventional kind of things. And the Bronco is about spiritual healing because it's a horse, powerful. And she even says it's racing towards her, racing towards us, she says. So the fact that it's a powerful car, or depicted as powerful in the dream, and also that it has the name of a horse, means that she's a spiritual healer. And she's going to use that alongside whatever her husband does in life as she moves forward. So next we have, behind the SUV/Bronco came the water, and this is good. The water represents her spiritual flow, no longer constrained, and life no longer constrained as well. She says, now it is wide and rushing, but not out of control like it was before. So she's got a handle on things. And normally, we see things in dreams where you're trying to control them. That's not very good. But here she's really letting the river flow freely, but she doesn't want it to be wild or out of control. So it's more like she has a handle on her own spiritual nature or on life, which is really, really fantastic. And then she says, we were very pleased with the results. And then Michael says, now I can get married. Well, the very pleased is fantastic. That's absolutely huge in this dream, because this dreamer went through a long phase of not being happy, not being pleased. So to get to the point where even in her dream she's really pleased with things, that's great. And then her husband says, now I can get married, and they are married. So this is about uniting male and female aspects of herself, and that makes sense because spiritual healing is a male aspect. She says, so I thought to myself, good, now I can show everybody my wedding ring. I turned the band on my finger around, and there was a very large several carat diamond that I had been hiding. So this is her spiritual healing ability. And the fact that it's very large and several carat diamond shows the precious nature of her gift, the special value of it. It has enormous value. So using this gift and showing it to others, displaying it to others, because she currently doesn't. So me and a select few are very aware of what she's doing in her life and very aware of her spiritual abilities. But she hides it from others. Now she's not going to hide it anymore. And we're near the end of this one now. She says, the next scene is an aerial view of the small house we have been living in, a tiny one-room shack on one side of our newly created river. We flew across the river to a new huge house. So this is really good. The aerial view is kind of giving her a higher level perspective on things, that she's moved from a small place to this new house, which is huge. So she's moved, her state of consciousness is now huge. And she turned on all the lights in all the rooms in the new house. And that's really good, turning on all the lights. That's what life is about, turning on all the lights, dispelling darkness. She says it was dark and needed remodeling, but she turned on all the lights. As we walked in, we turned on all the lights in all the rooms and made plans for remodeling floors, bathrooms, etc. So she still has some work to do, and particularly work on her body. The floors and bathrooms are about elimination system. She's already done lots of work there, and she doesn't really have dreams that are about her health much anymore. One of the bathrooms had already been started. The vanity had been made so it accommodates 5 sinks, and the 5th one was not finished. So this again, it's all improving her health enormously by, well, like I said, fixing her elimination system. But it's not just physical elimination, it's elimination of things that really don't matter in life, things that we hold on to that we no longer need to hold on to, and so on. And the 5 sinks is about sensitivity. We have 5 senses. So here it's about becoming sensitive to her body, sensitive to her life. And it's really just a fantastic dream. So that's it. I'm going to switch into showing you the interviews that I recorded earlier. And the show is going to play out with that. So I will leave you with that, and I will see you next week. Stay tuned for the interviews. In this video, I interview a few people to get their feedback on how following their dreams has improved their lives. In 2012, while waiting in reception to see my doctor, I interpreted a dream for his partner Jerry Lynn. The interpretation so profoundly improved her outlook on life that she and her husband did my next course. I couldn't have predicted how much the course would change their lives. I met up with them recently at their office. You've done it 3 times, Jerry Lynn.
I have.
So, in what way did the course impact your lives?
It's another dimension.
Adds another dimension to your spiritual life, to your where you're going in life, what you're doing. Yeah. When I first started off, I was kind of wandering around looking and very unsure of myself. And I feel like this has really helped me feel much better about myself, love myself more.
Even like before you ever did the course, I interpreted dreams for you, and I remember, Michael, you were saying it must be the first time I've ever had that type of reaction from somebody, from doing an analysis for somebody.
You bet. And my dream was of the hitch.
Oh yeah.
And Jay Lynn and I have both had a previous marriage, and we had been living together for some time and very happily living together, but there was something not totally there. And as a result of you interpreting the dream, we actually got married. So
Yeah.
you get to be blamed for it. And I think that's got us even closer together and loving each other more.
And the dream predicted that as well.
It was from your interpretation of the dream,
Yeah.
which really hit me. It made sense.
Oh, my dream too. I had a dream about the same time.
You did.
We'd both been discussing getting married, and we were very hesitant. We didn't want it. We had a good relationship. We didn't want to get married and have it ruined. That's what we were afraid of.
And it's
So-
understandable.
Yes, sometimes it does. So when we both had a dream almost in the same week, huh? And
Mhm.
you interpreted both of them as saying that we should go ahead and get married because we were both good to both supposed to be hitched.
Of course.
Yes.
I thought you were married at that point, so I wasn't quite sure who the dream was talking about.
Oh, then you realize we weren't married.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, living in sin.
Yeah. Yep. We've been living in sin.
And it was like the dream that I had just the other day.
Yeah.
And it was a thought considering moving somewhere. And then the music and what were the words to the song?
Stay with me.
Stay with me. And I was asking Michael about that, and he just smiled, and he knew that it meant that I was supposed to stay right where I was,
Not move.
and he didn't say a word, and I knew it too, which is fascinating about what the dream was about, really, but it made so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And they should. I analysed a dream for Elizabeth Rose in 2007. She didn't believe my analysis at first, but over time, as the dream's predictions unfolded in her life, she became a believer. Following her dreams led her to discover her spiritual abilities and life purpose. She became a hypnotist, a healer, and trance channel. She now teaches these skills to others. More impressively, she has blended hypnosis with trance channeling and has created a unique course she calls Full Immersion into Spirit. Over a period of several long days, she trance channels and guides her client into a heightened spiritual state and helps them clear emotional traumas, remove energy blocks and limiting beliefs, both from this lifetime and previous ones. At various stages in the process, her client is rewarded with energy and spiritual upgrades, now possible because of the limitations that have been removed. I grabbed some of her time at a Hypnothoughts live convention where she was a scheduled speaker.
I would recommend your work, Michael, because it changed my life. In 2007, I had a dream, and I had 7 dream interpretation books that were my go-to books, and none of them helped me understand this dream, which really stood out. And I was guided to find you online, and I found you in Dublin, and I sent you a paragraph, I sent you the dream. And you sent me back a recorded message explaining very clearly my personality profile. You told me that I was going to enter a state of depression, deep depression. You told me that I had been attacked at age 4 by a male, not my father. You told me that I was probably headed in a different direction than my husband. And I didn't believe any of it. And fast forward to 2013, and I had a repressed memory come back to me about being attacked by a babysitter, a male babysitter. And it shaped my whole life. It was something I had to fix. It was something I was able to fix with hypnosis, and now I'm a hypnotist because of that dream and your dream interpretation. And 2 weeks after the dream interpretation, I had this crazy moment of success and immediately found myself in the depths of despair. And it made no sense. But the dream had told me, you had told me that I would have that. And I got out of it. And I've not been in that depth of despair since. And my other half and I have kind of moved in different directions. And he validated everything you said about my personality. So would I recommend the work? Would I recommend the book? Would I recommend your dream interpretations? Absolutely. I can't imagine not having it in my life now.
Cool. Thank you very much. Susan Pullen has become a dear friend and was co-host on my KKNW radio show in Seattle. I met her when I hijacked her dream group in 2012. At the time, she was working in administration for the University of Washington. In addition to her daytime job, she worked as a life coach and ran self-development classes, including for Cancer Lifeline. She is a quiet person, and anyone would be forgiven for not realizing the vast range of skills she has at her disposal. But that is exactly the issue her dreams focused on. Susan has graciously let me use her dreams and life as a case study here. Her case study is the focus of the next video. Here, we talk about how following her dreams has improved her health and enjoyment of life. So, I sneaked into your dream interpretation group because I was doing some incognito research to see what people who were seriously interested in the subject or working with the subject in the subject field, what were the top things that were in America. And pretty quickly I got the idea of, I should offer a class because that will really draw people out. And if you started throwing rotten vegetables at me, I would know, okay, this isn't palatable, I have to change this. But that wasn't the case. When I did the first class, so I did a 6-week course, my regular 6-week course. And I got really nervous beforehand myself because I realized, wow, these are people that know their stuff. And here I am saying, look, I'm going to tell you how it works. And so that was a bit arrogant. It felt like I could be come across as arrogant in doing that. But what was your reaction on the first night of the course? I mean, how well did you receive it?
Oh, I was totally fascinated. Yeah, totally captivated by everything that you shared in the course.
And you said after a while that your dreams shifted and started using the symbols and methods or techniques that I outlined.
Yeah, especially the symbolic language. I felt like they shifted. My sense was almost like, oh, this is what you understand, then we're going to use this to make sure that you get the message.
Yeah, and that's exactly true. But what's interesting is, if you've never done any courses, that's what dreams use. Whereas you had read countless books, probably more books than I have, on dream interpretation. And that's a joke. And so it's interesting then that your dreams shifted to that method. And I do remember distinctly, and I won't say the dream, but you phoned me up one time and you said, that interpretation you gave me has just happened. And I think that was the turning point for you. After that, it was like, okay, I'm standing at the punch bowl and I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I would say it was life-changing for me because several things. One, I came to understand what my dreams were trying to tell me, and then acted on that. And I feel like my life has just taken such a tremendous turn in a really beautiful, wonderful, rich, satisfying way since I started paying attention to the dreams with your interpretations in mind.
Excellent. And that's true. So let's talk about that for a little bit. You really did follow your dreams. You quit a really secure job in a university to follow what was, I suppose it was a sideline for you. You'd been working in this field for years. You'd been a life coach for how long?
Yeah, let's see, 7 years?
Right.
Yeah.
And you worked on...
No, more than 7 years. Yeah.
You worked with Cancer Institute or...
Cancer Lifeline.
Cancer Lifeline, okay.
Yeah.
So it must have been scary to quit your job. I do remember you saying you gave a date and you pretty much stuck to that date. But really, your dreams had said you had 3 skills. And your dreams, I use some of your dreams in all my courses now because they were so good, because they said, okay, look, you've got this mix of things. You're a counselor, you've got a healing ability, which you weren't using at that stage, at that point.
Yeah.
And other things besides. And really what you're doing now is a mix of those things, which
It
is what
is.
the dream had said, that you've got to wrangle that snake, basically.
Right.
And it also said that you suffered migraines pretty badly. I asked you, I remember at one point, how long did your migraines last? And you said, oh, just about 28 days out of a month.
Yeah, it was, they lasted, well, the first one lasted for 4 or 5 years, and then they improved to the point of about 21 days a month. And that went on for another almost a decade.
And when you started following what your dream said, or getting into alignment, as I think is the kids' term these days,
Yes.
that shifted, and we predicted from your dreams that would shift.
Yeah.
And is it still improving? Like what is your predicament now?
Yeah, so it improved to the point of maybe 1 day a month
Oh wow.
of headache. Yeah, so it was a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my health in general is so much better than it used to be, just from listening to my dreams and taking action on,
Yeah.
following.
But you really did it dogmatically. You cut out the foods your dream said. You cut out the practices your dream said. Like your dream said for a while to stop working on Cancer Lifeline, which was kind of a surprising thing to see, because it's a very altruistic thing to do. You're helping other people, and dreams are saying, stop doing that. And you're like, okay, I don't understand this. Why
Yeah.
should I stop that? But it's interesting because
it was hard for me to let that one go.
Yeah. But it's interesting, and I do remember your guide said at the time that position is for somebody else. Somebody else has to learn. Their karmic path is on that, and yours isn't. And then one thing that I always found intriguing about you was your dreams always showed you. If you weren't skilled at looking at dreams, you think, oh my God, she's not long for this world, because you're always hanging around symbolically what represents the transition point between this world and the next.
Yeah, I had another one of those just last week.
So it puzzled me for a while, and then I realized, okay, wait a second. You're able to hop across and change people's karma, which I didn't even think was possible till I saw it repeatedly in your dreams. And so it's one of the things you do. You're able to move people's karma around so that things can come at them in a way that they're able to deal with, or that you prepare them for and say, okay, this will be next. Are you ready for it? Okay, now here you go. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but it is one of the things you do. But the energy work has become a huge thing in your work. So tell us a little bit about your work.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you quit your university job?
So, so I knew from my dreams that I would be doing kind of a combination of the coaching work that I had been doing, and also the energy healing work, and working a lot more intuitively, and bringing the spiritual piece kind of more to the front, where I had been totally in the closet about the about the spiritual aspect up to that point. But even when I left my job, I wasn't exactly sure what that was going to look like in practice. When I gave notice for my job, actually, by the time I was full time in my practice, then it all just that Indiana Jones movie where, let's see, the Holy Grail, where he throws the rocks out and that makes that path visible that was invisible. It felt like that. It was like, I don't know where I'm going, but I guess I'm putting my foot out, and then suddenly, like, it just appeared.
Yeah, and your energy work is so strong. I come to you for energy work, so it is really good, considering it was something that you hadn't used, and your dreams were saying, "Look, you've got this, you've got this."
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that it's hard to understand and explain to people. You know, it's a bit like riding a bike, but once you started into it, you fell into it.
Yeah. Well, I had always felt my hands, buzzing or tingling or whatever, but I just didn't talk about that.
Where's that again?
I've been interested in healing work since I was about 12, and started reading about shamanism and energy work and things like that pretty young. But then I didn't tell other people.
So what do you call your business? What did you name yourself after all this?
So my full-time practice now is called True Radiance Healing Arts. And so it's a blend now of the coaching work and energy work and shamanic work and some dream work mixed in to help inform my work with clients. And I absolutely love it.
And your web address is?
It's true-radiance.com.
Okay, excellent. I still find that interesting, because way back we saw your dream where you're literally trying to put a snake belt on, but the snake is alive. Mm-hmm. And that dream interpreted said you're meant to use a cut down set of all the things you know, but that they're a blend, your unique blend of what you do now. So it's great to see that. And right now we're sitting the interview is happening in your healing room, which you had purpose built since quitting your job.
Yeah.
Or was it before you quit your job?
Just after.
And of course, that's the wrong way to put it. Before moving into your career, job that is alignment. Does it feel like a job?
No, it doesn't feel like a job.
Because it doesn't pay?
No, because I love the work. Yeah, I love the work. I feel like the luckiest person in the world.
For my last interview, I caught up with Jamie Dyson on Skype. Jamie was co-chair of Susan's Dream Group. Normally I'm the one that pushes people, but when it comes to Jamie, it's the other way around. She's such a fan of my work that she pushes me again and again to go further with it. She studied astrophysics in the University of California in San Diego, so I don't argue with her much. Jamie's life completely changed when she did my course. She now gives readings where she connects people with gifts that they used in a past life, removing limiting blocks so that they can use their gift in a contemporary way today. That's what's fascinating about the work she does, how she connects past life energy with the energy of today. While doing that, she creates custom jewellery to create an energy space that allows a person to develop their gifts fully while removing the limiting beliefs that block them from using their gift today. Jamie studied dream interpretation for 15 years before she met me. I asked her how her previous techniques compared with what she learned on my course and how the course impacted her today.
In every single way, your course changed the way that I did my analysis. I now look at them as everything is coming from me, and so everything in the dream is about me. And as easy as that is to understand now, my whole life I think a lot of people look at their dreams and it's just human nature to see them as about other things. I use my dreams every day to look at my life, to look at my health, to look at my life purpose, to look at my relationships with other people, and to have access to that information on a daily basis has been revolutionary. I mean, I feel empowered every day when I wake up, and it's really been a complete life shift for me. I can easily look back on my journal now and see that the way I looked at my dreams back then was very inaccurate.
Remembering her stunned reaction to one particular analysis, I asked her if there was one dream that stood out for her. She didn't disappoint.
There's one dream in particular that I will always hold dear to my heart. One of the nights of the course, I had a dream where I was a tour guide, and and I was showing a few people around and showing them antique furniture. And the dream was maybe 2 sentences. I jotted it down so quickly. I'm even surprised that I took the time to write it down because it was one of those afterthoughts that I didn't give much credence to. And just the very next day in the course, you explained how there were guides on Earth, which at the time was a pretty mind-blowing concept, and how guides can show up in dreams, and how if you're a guide, your dreams will tell you. And I couldn't believe it. The night before, I had dreamt that I was a tour guide. And it was just all of it connected in that moment. And I don't know if you remember, but I approached you after, and you kind of gave me a knowing nod, like, yes, that dream that you just sent was about you being a guide. And for me, that information just really is something that I will always hold dear to, that moment, because I do feel a bit like I was set up. I didn't have any idea about that before, and here I'm dreaming about that the very night before your course happened. So it was pretty remarkable.
Several years later, Jamie's dreams suddenly started warning about her health. I asked her about that.
What happened was I had switched my diet to more of a high-fat diet where I was eating a lot of meats and a lot of eggs and cheese and peanut butter. And all of a sudden, I had a dream one night where I was being chased by a man who was half alligator, half man. And in the dream, I jumped into a giant pit of green grass clippings to escape him. And I brought that dream to you, and you said, well, you know that's a mutation, half man, half alligator, which has to do with cancer. For probably about a week, I had recurring dreams about worms in my skin as well. Pulling them out, trying desperately to pull them out, and knowing that I had done it, but that I was starting to struggle with it.
It was just one food item that she had started eating that triggered her health warning dreams. Fortunately, she was quickly able to identify it and remove it. I asked her how quickly her dreams changed once she removed the carcinogenic food item from her diet.
On a dime. On a dime. I never dreamt about it after that at all. I use your process to look at my health regularly. I really do. And I'd say about once a week I have kind of a digestion system issue dream. But I've worked all that out because I know what it is. And, you know, I think that there's a lot of unneeded morality around food. Not necessarily vegan or vegetarian, but just about, you know, clean eating. Whereas it's remarkable that my dreams have actually shown me that the specific thing that is wrong, you know, it's not, you know, and I can eliminate that one thing, and then it's, you know, I'm back on track. So that has been incredibly empowering. I would definitely recommend your course to other people. This course is all about dreams, but in reality, It's about life purpose, spiritual gifts, and really what we're here for. So if you're into dreams, you definitely need to take this course. If you're not into dreams, though, you really need to take this course too, because it will show you all the things, it will give you access to information that is just so empowering for your life, and things that you want to be able to have in your toolkit that you want to be able to use to help strengthen your relationships, help strengthen your health, and I can't recommend it enough. My best friend for my whole life, he never remembers his dreams, even to this day. But he had one dream where he was so upset and so shaken up, he actually had to get out of bed and calm himself down. And in the dream, he was walking towards his death with a long line of other people that were all zombies. And a woman came up to him and tapped him on his right shoulder, and she was wearing bright green. And he told me, he said, "I know you're into dreams, and I had actually just met you." And I said, "Well, I'm not quite there yet, but I really want to hear what Michael has to say." And so we sent the dream to you. And you analyzed it and said that, something was killing him. He was not being true to himself. And when looking at the symbols and looking at all the different things together, of course, that's clearly what it was about. And we couldn't figure out what maybe this was. So it was that night that he finally did tell me that he was gay after, 20 years of friendship. So, and that was a huge, huge moment for him. Huge moment for him. And to this day, he will tell you that he would not be where he is right now if it wasn't for that analysis. And for the little kick in the, little kick from the other side to make him do it. He was so nervous. So just a sincere thank you to you and to the course, because it really has changed my life in so many ways I can't count, and I'm very, very grateful.
Look up at me. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm videotaping.
How do I find the recorder?